found it in my backyard a few days ago. The dead angel. It was just lying there in the grass, that milky white corpse. It was mostly human in shape. Its skin was slick and smooth, like a frog's. Its face was completely featureless, aside from a single black, gleaming, doe-like eye. It lacked any visible genitals, and its body structure was otherwise androgynous. The left arm was missing, and a pearl-colored syrupy liquid oozed from the wound. I wasn't sure how to react when I first saw it. I just stood there in the kitchen, staring at it through the window. I started to feel this bizarre urge to drag it into the house. I knelt down beside the angel. A pungent, sickly sweet, spicy odor hung in the air around it. I scoured the yard in search of the missing arm, but found nothing. I stood over the corpse, looking it over. I shot a quick glance at the neighbor houses. I hadn't noticed as far as I could tell. I knelt down and hefted up the body. I carried it to the basement, surprisingly light. It almost felt like it were hollow. I carefully eased the body onto the floor. I calmly left the basement, locking the door behind me, and got ready for work. I couldn't focus on anything at the office. The angel kept gnawing away at my mind. I tried to make sense of what had happened that morning. I left work early and rushed home. I had to do something about that angel. Burn it? Chop it up and throw it in the dump? I don't care. I just need to get rid of it. I rushed down the stairs. It was still there, in a pool of its thick blood. I contemplated what to do with it, and kept drawing a blank. I'm not sure how long I stood there, glaring at it. I slammed the door behind me. I didn't want to look at it anymore. I tried to go about the rest of my day, but I couldn't bring myself to do anything, and ended up just going to bed early. But I couldn't sleep. I couldn't get my mind off that angel, just thinking of that thing in my house. I spent the entirety of the next few days in the basement. As much as I hated that thing, I couldn't tear my eyes off it. It had started to decay. Weeping, open sores started creeping across its surface. I noticed small bits of its flesh stuck to the ceiling, or rather they were part of the ceiling now, somehow managing to perfectly integrate themselves into the material. Its blood had started to curdle. I found small gelatinous lumps in the puddle. I started to squeeze one out of curiosity. It popped, releasing thousands of squirming red threads. They writhed about, escaping through the cracks in the floor. The odor from before had filled the entire house, and it brought a moist, cold weight with it. The angel wouldn't last much longer. I had to get rid of it. It wanted me to get rid of it. It wanted me to bury it. I grabbed a shovel and slung the angel over my shoulder, coating myself with its pearly fluid. I rushed into the backyard and dropped the body on the ground. I didn't check to see if the neighbors were watching. I couldn't afford to. I just had to dig. I dropped the angel into the grave I had made and started to shovel dirt onto its corpse. Exhausted, I trudged back into the house. I slept soundly that night. It's been 3 weeks since I buried the angel. Nothing would grow on its grave, not even the hardiest weeds. However, I thought I saw something the other day. I gently brushed the damp, loose soil aside and found a small, bright red sapling.